This video is brought to you by OnlyCrits, and they wanted to say F you. Seriously, I gave myself such a hard time by choosing to put this in the first 60 seconds of the video. I'll be so lucky if this video does not get demonetized. OnlyCrits is doing a very special Kickstarter for their new dice, the F you dice, or dice, or oh my god, I'm gonna have to do so many bleeps when I say the word dice. Seriously, when I was initially pitched doing the sponsorship, I was asked by Eric, one of the owners of OnlyCrits, if I was willing to do something this vulgar. And I said, yeah, sure, I'm always this vulgar in my channel, but not in the first 60 seconds, so I don't know why I chose to do this. Anyways, what are dice other than dice that you don't use when rolling them in the bedroom? The dice are D20s with your choice of a message on them, either or yeet for natural 20s or natural 1s, me and you, also for natural 20s or natural 1s. There's an early bird bonus for them if you go to support their Kickstarter. The first 150 backers who pledge at the 1 through 8 piece dice set level will get an extra D20 for free, so act fast to grab this exclusive offer. I don't know why I said it that way. That's not all. The campaign has some incredible and exciting stretch goals. As funding increases, new Sharp Edge dice sets will be unlocked, including stunning designs like Corrupted Cobalt, Starlight Nebula, and many more, up to the incredible Liquid Core Eyeball set at $100,000 if the Kickstarter can reach that. I have for a long time supported the OnlyCrits brand on my channel, and I would love it if you guys could go give them your support for the Kickstarter and tell them love from Jay and the CriticalRole team as a whole. Anyways, thank you for watching, and back to the video. Hi everybody. For the past year, 2 years, every single one of the videos that has shown up on my channel has had a script. In fact, recently, in the past year or so, I've almost always had a teleprompter rolling, giving me the script that I have written and put a lot of time into, put bullet points on, put quotes on. This video is one that I decided to do less than 2 hours ago. I have no script for this. Nothing has been written out. This was simply something that I decided to record because after watching it on the way home from work, mind you, less than 2 hours ago, I realized I had to talk about it. And I'm probably gonna regret it. So, let's talk today about Sam Riegal. Let's talk today about Sam Riegal's character. Let's talk about what happens when you realize that living has nothing to do with what you're going to do tomorrow. It has everything to do with how you made other people feel and how you felt today.
That for the first time, I realize that I am made of metal and wires, but I am alive. I am alive for the first time. And I am alive not because I was made by Dee or Dancer or even the Changebringer. I'm alive because they made me alive. And I'm happy to do this because they saved my life. And I'll save theirs.
Before I do that, hey, this is like the mother of all spoilers. Not only is this extremely recent to campaign 3 of Critical Role, it's also just like a huge spoiler overall. I'm actually literally spitting on myself. Oh my god. It's a huge spoiler. We're doing a huge spoiler warning. So
put the squirrel on.
Squirrel! The funniest thing I could do for the squirrel bit right now is put the spoiler warning and the squirrel over this while I just like talk extremely normally. Fresh cut grass is on the surface another one of Sam Riegal's characters. Goofy, small, has beef with a very specific type of creature, and you know, that's just what Sam does. He tends to make these characters who are comedic on the surface, and honestly, I don't believe they're meant to be anything more than comedic. At least not when they're first created.
Don't you do that. Don't you. Give me the key. You stay back. You stay back.
But Sam has this way of creating characters that just dig into your heart in a way you never could possibly expect. He has a way of making these characters and then finding the roots behind their comedy, finding the emotion behind them. And FCG, otherwise known as Letters, is nothing different or outside of that. An automaton who has, well, quite a bit of trauma, and I'm honestly not gonna go too much into that because I have actually made a video on him prior, but to give the briefest of summations, he is an anormaton, a creation from the well, long dead society of Aor, which is essentially just a very, very powerful automaton that actually has some amount of sentience and ability to think. And when Sam created this character, it was clear that he just wanted to create another small, fun, lovable character. But unlike the other two characters that Sam has made, it was clear that there was a little bit more put in behind the character's backstory on this one. Sam has admitted in the past to making up backstories for his character as he goes along, but FCG definitely had a different ring to it. He had made this character who believed themselves to be a therapist, needed to be a therapist. And it's clear that Sam was already thinking about the implications of that even from day one. But this character would go on a long, long journey that would eventually end in tragedy.
I don't want to be worthless right now. This is not a time to be worthless. This is not a time to be ineffective. Yeah, family's dangerous.
Sure is. And as we get his stuff, I'll just start telling him about everything with Frida and how we met and all.
I'm so fucking proud of you. And I hope you don't take this the wrong way. But I'm so proud that you finally got the thing that I have been trying to fucking give you since the day we met. And I've just...
A kiss?
Oh, no. A reason to fucking live.
Yeah.
So, please keep that, because I am so tired of saving you from yourself.
See, FCG's journey is fascinating. Originally made to be a therapist, literally his original designation, as they would find out over the course of the campaign, was Faithful Caregiver, FCG. He was meant to be a very caring and empathetic individual. However, there was a flaw in his programming, or more particularly, a Trojan horse. He had been designed with this intention to kill when caused to go over the edge. Essentially, he had been created to be an assassin at a very important part of history, but then he shut down, and over the course of a long period of time stayed dormant until eventually he was reactivated, and that unfortunate tendency to be an assassin came out at the wrong moment, and he attacked his original creator and killed the rest of his siblings, otherwise known as just other automatons. From this point, he would grow to fear this portion of himself, or I guess I honestly really apologize. I forget specifically what pronouns Sam introduced FCG in the first episode. And like I said, I didn't write this script, so I didn't have time to go back and look at it. But I do know that they refer to FCG as he over the course of a lot of the story. So even if originally they were they, them, which I think they were, I have come to know them as he, and that's a little bit of a gray area.
Metallic skin, a cute little backpack. He's got he, they.
But that's beside the point. The point is this character would go on to fear this portion of themselves and try over and over again to try and overcome it. But eventually, a lot of the group would just accept this as part of FCG. This portion of themselves that would come out at the worst moments, that would drive them over the edge with stress, and mechanically it would cause FCG to actually attack the rest of the party members.
My glass orb in the center of my chest turns red.
Oh, great.
We're gonna come run towards you. You're gonna cut us down.
Oh, boy.
A very fun and fascinating way of exploring that type of trauma while also allowing the game to continue to tell stories, as TTRPGs are so good at. But all of this is not really what I want to talk about today. And I think anybody who knows this moment is very aware of that. Over the course of Campaign 3, the story of Ruidus is really the core of what has happened up until this point. Ruidus, this moon in the sky, a red moon that apparently holds some sort of very ancient deity inside of it that wants to eat the rest of the gods. The entire conflict of the campaign revolves around the fact that Ludinus, one of the main enemies of the entire campaign, really wants to release this entity to eat the gods so that mortals no longer have to serve underneath that rule. And most of the moral complexity of the campaign falls underneath this as well. And a lot of that focuses on FCG. See, FCG is a cleric, but originally FCG does not have a deity. However, he does learn to respect and eventually admire and worship one of the deities, the Changebringer. This entity that controls the entire concept of the crossroad, of making a new choice, of making a new change, the butterfly effect in full motion. And so FCG comes to really admire this deity and follow them. And that would lead to a very interesting scenario. Eventually, through the course of a lot of help from a lot of previous members of different campaigns, they do find themselves on Ruidus in a sort of mission where they have no backup and must find information and find a way to get back to Exandria. They discover a lot of allies and a lot of enemies, and they get into quite a few different tussles and dangers, but the most important danger is one that I don't think anybody truly expected outside of Marisha.
Trisha's grab ball. Trisha's grab ball.
Is it? I had the ball out. I had the ball out.
And it's been behind you this whole time.
I had this shit. You did not say that.
Marisha really was keeping an eye out for it, while I don't think Matt really did anything to break the rules. It was definitely some tension that caused this entire effect to happen.
You had one job.
It was Ira.
I had it.
If you had just said it.
Regardless, it leads to a very climactic interaction with one of the main antagonists of the story, Odahan the Wolf. Odahan is this powerful individual who's been blessed by the moon and has powers beyond their comprehension. They've actually tangled with her once before, and she killed one of them. She killed Marisha's character, hence Marisha being so intent on keeping track of her. And so this is a very dangerous entity, but they fought Odahan long time ago. They fought her when they were much lower level, so now hopefully they have a chance to fight back. Only not really. They have been through mission after mission after mission, and they even split the party before coming back together, which means, unfortunately, they have used up almost all of their resources, and now they are trapped in a confined place against this very dangerous enemy who has the ability to clone herself and deal a lot of attacks at once.
27 points of slashing damage on the first hit. You get knocked prone to the ground. The second attack is going to be an advantage. Rolling again. That's higher, but it still hits you. That's 16 points of slashing damage to you.
Okay.
Plus 7 points of force damage because you are prone as the blade now just, it like vibro blades through part of your shoulder. 13 points of slashing damage and 9 points of force damage. And the fourth attack on you.
Oh, yes, I remember this too well.
3 minus 2, 21. Does 21 hit?
21 does hit.
Okay, that's gonna be 13 points of slashing damage and 10 points of force damage.
Oh my god, Matt. Wow.
Where are you at?
Just barely.
What?
Bonus action, offhand strike with Scream Needle, 15 to hit.
Oh, it misses! Oh, it misses! Holy shit!
Oh, boy.
I almost got soloed in one round.
Bang.
Almost downing Travis's character in a single round.
Bang.
Wow!
Action, sir.
This is why we have to try every fucking.
Because of this, the battle does not go well. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Bell's Hells really do their best to put up a good fight. In fact, one of the characters, Orem, Liam's character, does an incredible job of trying to do as much damage as possible, dealing an absurd amount of crits. And honestly, this is a far cry from Campaign 1 Critical Role. These people know what they're doing at this point. They know the rules, they know strategy, they are fighting to their absolute darndest. And while there are mistakes made, I cannot say that they do not do an amazing job of attempting to strategically defeat this enemy. Which is the only thing that makes it even more sad when they are unable to win. Travis's character dies.
The wolf form drops. Just so little Chetney's there looking at this blade in his chest, and he'll say, "For 400 years, I looked up at the moon. Not a bad place to go."
And while they are able to revive him, this leads to a very unfortunate conclusion. No one else can die because they are out of revivifies. FCG has nothing left. As the course of the battle goes on, 1 ally goes down, 2 ally goes down, 3 ally goes down, so on, so on, so on.
Hey man, this means the end of a story.
Fucking.
Oh my god.
It just means opportunities.
Okay. I'm back. 1.
Yeah.
He's already talking about TV. We're gonna 7. Okay, 2 more.
They try. They try hard, and they pull out every stop they could possibly think of, to the point where Marisha is honestly about to win the day, but a bad dice roll just causes it to slip between their fingers. Liam does an amazing job of expressing how hard they fought, and you can tell that Liam is prepared to allow whatever is about to happen. But as all of them should have known, there's only one person in this group who's truly prepared for that ending, who's always willing to make that point. As we get around to FCG, we see that most of the members have been downed or are about to be. And there's not much that he can do. There's not much Sam can do. And yet, he moves forward with confidence. Odahan hits him once, and we honestly think that he's gonna go down, but he does manage to survive with just a few hit points. And then Sam tells us what his next move is.
Oh my god.
In my berserk anger, fueled by stress, I will take out my Changebringer coin. I will hold it out in front of me, and I will cast at my highest level left, Guiding Bolt at level 4 on myself, straight through the orb portal glass thing, and I will aim it at my heart, and I will trigger a nuclear reaction, if at all possible.
Holding the coin out in front of himself, he casts Guiding Bolt at the highest level he can, not at Odahan, who is standing directly in front of him, but directly at himself, directly at his core. Something that has been made clear up until this point will go nuclear if hit with the right amount of damage. And I gotta give props to Matt here. Matt does an amazing job of taking a step back and making sure that this is something that Sam absolutely wants to do. He doesn't just say what happens, he immediately asks him, does he understand the dangers of this? Does he understand the radius of this? Does he want to reposition FCG?
Two things.
So mad at you.
Two things.
I'm so proud of you.
Two things. One, do you want to reposition yourself? Because there is a blast radius.
I wouldn't know what the blast radius is, so I would, with all of my movement, I would just sort of charge into her and push as hard as I can as I power up.
Two, just so you are aware.
Uh-huh. What's the saving throw that I have to make on this to survive, right? It's like a DC 12, 13?
Are we able to get him up? Are we able to get him up after he does this?
Marisha.
Just, yeah.
You understand what this means. Just so we're clear.
And then directly looks at Sam and says, I want you to understand the consequences of this. And Sam stops him and says this.
No.
And that's okay.
No, the rage that I feel, the stress being so high, the fuel pumping through my core, it has reached a level it's never reached before. And it is so intense that for the first time, I realize that I am made of metal and wires, but I am alive. I am alive for the first time. And I am alive not because I was made by Dee or Dancer or even the Changebringer. I'm alive because they made me alive. And it's the connections that I made with all of them. And it's a feeling of joy. And I'm happy to do this because they saved my life. And I'll save theirs.
He looks directly at Matt and the rest of the party, and he does not answer the question of, do I understand the consequences? He does not answer the question of, do I want to do this? Instead, he looks at everybody and tells them, in this moment, this character who has doubted themselves, doubted if they are real, doubted if they are alive, in this moment, the rage and anger that has always enveloped them makes them realize that they are alive. Because the anger they feel was because of everybody around them. And Sam looks across the table at his friends and tells them, you have all made me feel alive. Sam does not need to tell Matt the answer to that question because that answers it fully. He knows what he's doing, and Matt allows it.
FCG, how do you want to do this?
I think the last things I see are Bertrand and Dorian and Frida and I just feel connected to everybody. And some connections are made with wires, and some are made with blood, and some are made with bone, and some are made with wood. But they all matter. And they, even in this dark, dark cave, they make every day a smiley day. And so I just sign off and go.
The red that's burning in FCG's eyes fades to a white, and the head turned to a smile towards all of you as you see the energy in the core begin. Odahan, you see, notices this awkwardly and goes to pull, and you just grab her and hold her there. Before she even gets a chance to dart, there is a ball of crackling energy that just fills the space, holding aloft and burning. Rocks around are being pulled into and incinerated, and there's a bit of a gravity tug in its direction. You all kind of catch yourself in this moment of disbelief before it stops, leaving a crater in the ground.
Okay.
The sound of hundreds of small pieces of metal begin to sprinkle across the room. And the charred, lifeless body of Odahan is left there. Think about heroic sacrifice. Is it doesn't just give meaning to the person in the moment. But it's an inspiration we have to carry with us. As this moment of tragedy washes over you, in ways that maybe some of you already knew or are realizing right now. But the stakes are realer now than ever. And this loss can't be in vain.
This in itself is a powerful moment of allowing somebody to truly put themselves on display for everybody else, of allowing somebody to explain their emotions and how they feel about their friends through a silly game, of Matt embracing it and choosing to truly focus on this and allow it to happen and explain it in the ways that are necessary. And it hits. It's a good storytelling moment, and you can tell that everybody at the table feels that well, but it is not the full story. FCG does explode himself and taking Odahan out with him, saving the day legitimately. But there's one thing that Sam says after this episode has ended that really causes a different feeling.
See you for campaign 4.
Shut up. Shut up.
He looks at the camera and says, "See you in season 4, everybody." And everybody tells him to shut up, but that was potentially more true than we actually know. Because much like the reason that I talk about this type of storytelling medium, much like TTRPGs are so amazing, is because there is always more than just the game that's being told. It is a connection to the true story that's being told behind the scenes, the actual lives of the players, which is why I talk about this medium and why it's so incredible. And in this case, there was something much more going on behind the scenes. Sam was sick.
Friends, you may have noticed I was gone for a bit. Part of that was because sometimes robots go boom. But mostly it was because for the past few months I've been dealing with a medical issue that I wanted to talk to you about. So, trigger warning, I guess? Anyway, the good news is I'm recovering from cancer.
Now I want to make it clear that I have no desire to talk about the personal lives of the players past what they are willing to share, because it's just frankly intrusive and rude. So I would not be explaining this or talking about this had Sam not recently posted a video directly to the Critical Role channel explaining his situation. And I will not go any further than what he posted there. I have not watched the behind the scenes. I have not watched the four-sided dives because I have no desire to unfairly, intrusively dive into somebody else's private life. And also because I decided to talk about this on the way home from work today, so I really didn't have time to do it. So it's kind of two different things. But what Sam did post was a video that I did watch before seeing this episode. Sam let everybody know that he had been gone from Critical Role for a while because he had been sick, specifically with a type of cancer in his tonsils. Now, I'm not a medical expert. I don't know a ton about this, but he took the time to explain that he had been gone for a while and really was struggling. And yet he had taken the time to post this video because one, he wanted to let everybody know what was going on, but two, he wanted to use it as a chance to encourage everybody, to give everybody a sense of peace with knowing that this is something that can happen, but that you can be okay from it. And also giving people genuine encouragement to go take care of themselves. He used his bad circumstances to uplift everybody else. But it is this reason, I think, that he took the chance to leave the show, because he was sick. He was leaving. And I don't know how much the rest of the party knew that. I don't know how much everybody at the table was aware of this situation, but I can't imagine they didn't at least know some of it. And so this is a even more hard-hitting moment because it's friends and characters saying goodbye. Jay from the future here. I apologize about the audio quality because I'm recording this on my phone because I really had no other access to any other equipment to record this while editing, but I realized here that I seem to be implying the fact that Sam is gone for good for now. And I think I forgot to mention the fact that he does show back up later. Like, he is back in the campaign as of current, and while they did do a sort of side adventure with Downfall that included different people to give more of a break, Sam is still in the campaign. He has a new character, so I didn't want to leave this implying that Sam was just gone from the campaign for now, because I feel like that's just dishonest and it's also wrong. So yeah, just wanted to toss that in there. Anyways, back to the emotional bit, which makes it so much more heartbreaking but impactful, because that is why I talk about this medium, because it is reality and fiction blended together in a beautiful way to truly help us explore the emotions we have while connecting with people outside of it. And that is why I knew I had to talk about this moment. I watched that video before watching the episode, and I still didn't know that FCG died. Looking back, it was kind of obvious. I missed some important cues.
Sometimes robots go boom.
But it hit pretty hard. And it made me feel for them more. And I know they felt that much more. And Sam took that chance to tell everybody how much he cared about them and how much they had changed his life, how much they made him feel alive. And the reason I love talking about Sam Riegal so much, even though he's annoying, is because he's willing to care. And that is all that I want people to do when they watch what I do, when they talk to me in real life. I want people to care. I want people to know that life is worth living. There's so much in the world that is beautiful just with living life and having a smiley day. So, go out into the world, make it your own, never forget to play a role, and listen to my wife as she gives the call to action.
Tell Jay in the comments your favorite moment from campaign 3. Because
not allowed to say this one. That one doesn't count because I just talked about it. It doesn't count.
It can though if you want it to. And then don't forget that we are still supporting a family through Olive Branch, and we would love your continued support of that. And be gay, cheery, happy. I mean, gay means happy, depending on how you want to look at me saying that word. And
you can be gay however you want. You do you.
Facts. Full support right here, besties. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, nerds.
Bye.